Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining this webinar. My name is Laura Macadre. I'm project manager at Fondation OPEN-C. Today we'll speak about OPEN Sea demo. It's a call for grid-connected projects at SEM-REV. I will give the speech with my colleagues and partner Boris Teillant from Webinaire Bretagne Atlantique and Arnaud Blangy from Fondation OPEN-C. And this call is also supported by Région Pays de la Loire. So just a bit of technical information before we start. So now your camera and microphone should be turned off for the presentation. So if you have a question, you can ask them in the chat. Please use the Q&A button that you should see. The presentation will last about 30 minutes. After the presentation, we will answer the questions that you have already asked in the Q&A. And you will also have the opportunity to raise your hand through the associated button. So when you are invited to speak, then you will have the possibility to turn on your microphone and camera by clicking on the icons. So this webinar will be recorded and made available for replay on our website. And all the Q&A will be also disseminated for everyone. So this is the content of the webinar. We'll start with a quick recap of the context of the OPEN Sea demo call and the objective. Then we will go in more details on the SEM-REV offshore test site. And we will finish with the conditions for participation and the call price. So just a quick introduction about Fondation OPEN-C. We're a non-profit public interest organization created in March 2023. Our role is to coordinate, to manage the existing test sites in France for offshore renewables. So on the different test sites that you can see on the map, we can test floating wind turbines, tidal energy, wave energy, floating photovoltaic, but also other energy systems like offshore hydrogen production and some key components. So we provide open platforms for tests at sea in order to reduce risk, reduce cost, and support the technology development, and in the end to accelerate the energy transition. So we decided to join force with two other partners, Webinaire Bretagne Atlantique and Région Pays de la Loire, to launch a call for demonstration projects at sea in order to offer developers a unique opportunity to test their systems at sea, to support generally innovative offshore renewable solutions, but also first to identify the coming trials at the SEM-REV test site from 2027. We also want to meet our regulatory requirements associated to the SEM-REV site list. So we need to launch an open and transparent process to select the future projects. I will give the floor to Boris Teillant for a quick introduction about Webinaire Bretagne Atlantique.
Thank you, Laura. So Webinaire is an association. Our main mission is to support innovation on the blue economy space. So we work mostly for our members. Today we have a little bit over 450 members. And I won't go through all of the numbers that you can see on the slide, but what you have to remember is our main mission is to support R&D projects. And to do that, we have a quality certification process. And for the past 20 years, over 600 projects have been credited, and it represents nearly 2 billion euros, and 1/3 of it has been raised in terms of public funding. And if we move to the next slide, I will just present very briefly our roadmap. If you can move to the next slide, please. And basically, we are not only looking at offshore renewable energy. We are organized in 6 different sectors of the blue economy. So one of them is obviously marine renewable energy, but we also work on defense and safety, shipping, on naval shipbuilding. We work also on the environmental issues related to the coast and the open sea. Port infrastructure and logistics is also one of the key sectors we work on, and also biological aspects, so with the fishing and aquaculture activities. I just wanted to say a few words about those sectors because offshore renewable is often quite transverse, and you have to deal with the other blue economy sectors, so we can hopefully help a little bit to connect with those people as well.
Thank you, Boris. So we decided to join forces to launch this call, OPEN Sea demo, in the idea to select offshore renewable prototypes for sea trials at the SEM-REV test site. What kind of projects are we looking for? First, offshore renewable technologies, so they can be floating wind turbines, but also wave, energy storage, floating solar, etc. Any kind of offshore renewable technologies that could match with the site resources, of course. We will evaluate in priority grid-connected projects. In terms of maturity, we're looking at projects with a TRL of 5 or more, which is quite logical considering a test at sea in a real operational environment. For the test duration, it should be minimum 1 year to be representative, but can be up to several years, from October 2027 at the earliest. This is linked to the departure of another demonstrator, and Arno will explain this in more details just after. The project should be suitable with the SEM-REV test site in terms of metocean data, bathymetry, etc. And we're looking at technology developers to apply, so they can be alone in consortia, industrial, academics, but also French or international. The main date to be reminded is the 10th of July, which is the application deadline. Now we move on to the SEM-REV offshore test site introduction. Arno, I let you.
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Arno Blangy, SEM-REV Sea Test Site Director. I'm going to present you what we offer in terms of infrastructure and support for your project. But first of all, I would like to focus on why is a unique opportunity to have priority access to grid-connected offshore grid-connected cable. It is the only cable available and ready to use in France for floating offshore wind projects, demonstration project, or wave energy collector project. And in Europe, we would say we are part of the 5 available infrastructure for those type of tests. If I move on, next one. So to focus on what we offer in terms of infrastructure, first of all, is pre-authorized area at sea for your test, and a safe area delimited by special mark. SEM-REV area is very well known by mariners, so they avoid the site, and they have been used of our project, and we can say now it's quite a safe area. Second part is the grid connection. We offer 23-kilometer cable, export cable connected to the distribution network, and optical fiber that allow for your project high-speed connection to shore, to have access from your office or from our office in Le Croisic to your prototype. And third topics is having a 20 years old site allow to have very good understanding of the environment, for physical environment, to prepare your test. So we have metocean report publicly available in internet, and with WebRider installed since 2008, and with measurement of wind around the area on the lighthouse close by the site. We also offer network, secure network, so you can have access to a private network from your office to your prototype at sea in SEM-REV. And last one, we have 24/7 hour duty team for the safety of the project, with a tailor-made supervision system to supervise our infrastructure, but also key safety aspect of your project. Moving on, where is the SEM-REV sea test site? Is located 20 kilometers away from Le Croisic, accessible by train, and close by Saint-Nazaire Harbor, that is one of the major harbors in France. So allowing to have all infrastructure to build your prototype or to commission your prototype in harbor. So the grid connection is 20 kV distribution network. The surface area available is 1 square kilometer. Depth on the SEM-REV sea test site is 32 to 36 meter LAT. So mean water level is around 40 meters, let's say it like this. The seabed is sandy, and wave condition or wind condition are prepared for to simulate commercial projects. We have more before to focus on the sites. We have a quick video to illustrate the site. If I manage to launch the video, it's a bit slow. So those are two projects that we have hosted on sites. This one is Flogen project, the main project we have had on site that is going to live in 2027, and it's actually why we are launching this call to take over Flogen project. You can see the special mark on first, and that's the multi-socket or hub for grid connection project. That was some service we can add to the project, some ROV monitoring, ROV inspection. That's R&D project that we have made around Flogen project. A bit quick, but we will be able to come back to those images if you have some questions. So to focus on the sites, so that's the square kilometer delimited area at sea, and so far slot 3 is busy by Flogen projects, and it's what I just said. The aim of this call is to take over Flogen project. This area here, sorry, the mouse is a bit slow. I lost it. This area, forbidden area, is already reserved by France Atlantic project held by Eolink, and we have a third slot, third socket, let's say it like this, and to host a second or third project depending on the project we will be selecting during this call. To illustrate the images on this slide, that's the hub or multi-socket, allowing to have 1 export cable and 3 projects connected to the grid. That's we can see here. That's anchor that we have been used for anchoring project at sea on the site. Special mark on web rider for wave monitoring on site. So that's about it about infrastructure. What we offer in terms of support for your project during 20 years of operation of the site and 10 years with project on site. We have gained experience in authorization. So the site is pre-authorized, but we need to make sure your projects fit in our authorization, and we assist in this, talking with French state services, making sure the project is online with our authorization. In terms of engineering, to prepare your test and to make sure your test become a success. So in order key aspect of engineering for your test. We compared to a newly built project, we very well known the area of the SEM-REV test site, so we will be able to give you all information to prepare and for environmental impact assessment of your project. And last one, we know the stakeholder around the area or academic laboratory to help building your project. Also, if you need to focus on a topic or investigate a research area, as the site, part of our team come from École Centrale Nantes. We know academic laboratory and we can build with you, bring partner for collaborative project to focus on some research area. That's example of topics we have been working with around the Fondation project in terms of maintenance and decarbonization, environmental monitoring, about technology for mooring, for example. And we have been doing some training on mediation around the project. Last slide for me, just to take over with you. So the site offer full-scale validation of environments with a grid connection connected to the distribution grid. Having a fully ready-to-use site save you time. It allows you to ask for new authorization. Also, having already invested infrastructure and with the investment pooled over different projects, make you reduce costs for your tests. And all over this infrastructure and our support, we can say, and I'm quite confident indeed, we mitigate the risk of your project. Thank you. I let Laura follow up on.
No, we have one surprise for you.
Sorry about that. I have one last slide. We are in the step 2 of the process to conduct the demonstration project in SEM-REV. So a call to be selected and to have priority access to the site. After that, winners will be proposed a reservation agreement, and the reservation period will allow to discuss technical aspect of your project and to agree on a collaboration agreement. And then we will begin the usual classical step to make a project. It means preparation step and then installation testing during 2 or 5 years around this period, and dismantling at the end.
Really last slide.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Arno. Now we'll go to the participation conditions. So if you're interested to access the SEM-REV slot presented by Arno, just a quick word on the eligibility criteria. So we've mentioned it already, offshore renewables project for demonstration at sea compatible with the core rules. So the main information on the slide is you have 2 main documents to be considered, the core rules that are available on the link you see here, and by flashing the QR code that you can see on the slide. And we also provided a template of application form. One main point is the evaluation. We will assess the candidature received, the application received based on 2 main criteria: the technical capability, for instance, the suitability of the project with the test site, is there a grid connection considered, what is the status of the project, what is the proposed timetable, etc. But also we'll be very interested in the economic and financial capacity of both the project but also the applicant. So we'll check, for instance, the robustness and the credibility of the funding plan, but also the applicant financial robustness. In more details, we will ask you to fill first to send us information, corporate information, I would say, with a synthetic presentation of the applicant, something very basic that you probably already have, with the contact details for this project, the financial statement for the last 3 years, and an average annual staff numbers thing over the last 3 years. And then for the technical brief, we don't request a very long and complicated technical brief to be built for this call. It should be 10 pages maximum. And we have provided a template of technical brief to facilitate this part. It should describe the technology, its maturity level, if you have already carried out test campaigns or certifications. For the specific test campaign that you consider that you would like to do at SEM-REV, please describe the objectives, the current progress, the specifications of the prototype, and also the suitability with the test site. We will be interested in the schedule, obviously, test duration, from when, are there some milestones, etc. If there are specific requirements related to the demonstration area within the test site. And we would like to see some plan, not at this stage some details, but at least a plan for the manufacturing, installation, maintenance, dismantling, and including the proposed supply chain. Finally, we will be interested, obviously, in the financing plan for the test project and the internal organization of the candidate for the project execution. Just a quick recap of the planning. So we launched officially this call during Synergy conference last month in March. Today, this is a webinar to present, introduce in more detail the call, and if you have any question and answer, we'll be very happy to answer them just after. The 10th of July will be the deadline for submission of application. After that, we will analyze the application received, we will shortlist some candidates, and we will invite the shortlisted candidates for interviews at the beginning of September, the 4th of September. We will analyze the interview, discuss with the jury, and then we will finally announce the award in the course of October. My last point will be about the call prize. Well, what will you win concretely if you are selected? So first, obviously, you will get access to a grid-connected slot on the SEM-REV test site, and Arnaud mentioned it, it's quite unique in France and in Europe and more generally. Obviously, the access to such a public infrastructure will be done through a further collaboration agreement to be signed at a later stage with Fondation OPEN-C. There will be a funding up to 25,000 euros. This funding may come from the region pays area based on conditions that will be defined. In addition, there will be a tailored support from Fondation OPEN-C for the project development and implementation, in particular technical, administrative expertise, but also fundraising, etc. There will be also tailored support from Polymer Bretagne Atlantique and from Pays de la Loire region for the project development to identify further fundings for the project. And last but not least, there will be visibility for both the project but also the organization, and we will organize specific communication campaign and events. Boris, I give you the floor for a last word about the support from Polymer Bretagne Atlantique.
Yeah, you mentioned it already a little bit, but just to stress a little bit some aspects. So we have a strong network, so both Fondation OPEN-C and ourselves, if you need for specific skills to both develop your project or look at some environmental issues or compatibility with other users and so on, don't hesitate to contact us. We can try to help you and connect you with the right people. Obviously, as Laura May mentioned, we are always looking at the opportunities for funding R&D projects at European, national, and regional levels. So especially some of the projects that may not be selected, we will be looking at how we could possibly find alternative solutions to get R&D projects going on. And more generally, we have a strong network, and we have also communication channels that are well recognized, especially on LinkedIn and so on. So we will help showcasing the selected applications both organizing an event and also using our own communication channel.
Thank you, Boris. So this is the summary at a glance. If you have an offshore renewables project that you would like to see demonstrated on the SEM-REV offshore test site, so please have a look and apply here. Both you have the QR code and the link to the dedicated page where you will find all the information, the core rules, but also the application template. The application deadline is the 10th of July at 12 noon. And in between, if you have any questions today through the Q&A or even after the webinar, you can contact us and we will be very happy to answer you.